I'm so honored that you agreed to speak to me today and spend some time, just a little bit,
Sure, sure,
to
no problem.
discuss your work and the
Well,
YouTube world.
I'm honored. I'm honored that you for all your kind words, on my videos. It's really, I watch them
Yes,
all, and yeah, I'm like, it's good for my ego.
I
Yeah,
understand that. I understand. Well, it
yeah.
was all true. Everything I said in my reviews and
I
reactions.
know, I know, but you said it's not your music, but still you can be
Right.
objective about it, and I really like that. I really like you
Yeah.
saying that. This.
Yeah, that makes
I mean,
sense.
that's good. That's what I want. People whose music, it isn't their music, but they like it anyway, or they appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest compliment I can get.
I love that.
So,
I love that you said that. I feel like that's the perfect way to start this conversation because, as you know, I'm working on this documentary and project about
right, yeah.
your reaction videos, YouTube, and that psychology behind it. And you are just a perfect person to speak to on this because you are, dare I say, a musical genius in your own way, a veteran. You've been doing this for a long time. You have refined your
Veteran,
skills.
yes. Genius, no.
I no, I personally feel, and I'm still new to the whole world of metal and rock, I'm learning, but as I
Yeah.
reviewed some of your work and even looked at some of your biography, I would really argue that Genius is accurate because you are, for those who don't know, a singer, songwriter, you are a
Yeah.
multi-instrumentalist, you were played in bands, and you also have worked on your solo album, and then you
Yeah.
started this project, Ayreon. I always say Ayreon, I never know how best,
Ariel. Yeah.
Ayreon, okay.
Yeah.
That
Well,
Scottish touch
I
comes out.
see, I see the big picture. I think that's my strength because
Yeah.
I know I'm not a genius because I work with geniuses.
Okay.
Some of the musicians I work with is like, oh my God, I could never do what they do. I really have to work for it, but I'm a huge music lover. And like I said, I see the big picture. I know which musicians are good, which musicians to invite for which
Yeah.
character on the album, and that's my strength, I
Yeah.
think. But I don't see myself as a genius, but
Ah,
I'm really good at what I do. That's
okay. Okay. Well,
I admit to that.
it sounds like you have a lot of self-awareness then, I guess. You know of your
Oh yes,
strengths, you
yeah,
know of your
yeah,
weaknesses.
yeah.
I think
Well,
that
it keeps
in
me on my
itself.
toes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think there is
Definitely.
wisdom in that humility to have a healthy confidence, but also know what areas you still want to grow in, versus
Oh yeah,
being
yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
blind to it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's awesome. And I must say I really agree with the fact that what you pointed out, how you are skilled at finding the right people for the right task. Even looking at Ayreon and some of the musical compositions. I mean, just for those who are new to you or to your work, I highly recommend listening to Ian's work. Ayreon was, and I'm not even done with all that there is to listen to, but
Oh, there's a
just
lot to listen
the
to.
yes, but it's what it was fascinating to me, again, being new to the world of metal and enjoying being
Yeah.
exposed to things I didn't know before. It was fascinating to see how much of a dare I say, it's this journey. It's not just your typical
Oh
song like
yeah.
you find on the
Yeah.
radio, right? Verse, chorus,
Yeah.
bridge. It's
No,
the
no,
it's
no,
it's
no, no.
story, it's poetry, it's art. To me,
Well,
your
that's
work
that's what I
is
liked as a
art.
kid.
Yeah.
When I heard Jesus Christ Superstar, I was like part of that world.
Yeah.
That's where it all started for me. And
Okay.
if you're into the story, it adds a whole extra dimension to the music, and that's
Yes.
what I loved as a kid, and that's always been my dream to do myself. So.
Okay. So perfect way to introduce where this came from. For you, it was Jesus Christ Superstar, and you said
Oh
that
yes, yeah, yeah. I was
ignited
11.
it. Okay.
Yeah, 1971, and I saw the movie, and I first heard the album with Ian Gillan as
Okay.
Jesus, and it was like I was just playing it over and over again, and I was part of this world, and I was reading the booklet, and all the lyrics. I know the lyrics by heart. I can sing them from beginning to end. So that's where it started.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ Superstar, The Who's, Tommy, um, so many.
And what about
War
it?
of the
What
Worlds.
Yeah. Okay. And what about it
Yeah.
ignited that passion for you? What specifically? I mean, the performance, the presentation, the musical score. Like, what about it ignited that passion?
Well, of course, the songs have to be good and the singers have to be good. That's very
Of course.
important for me. But to be pulled into a story, that's really difficult because there's many concept albums around, and I try to make it understandable for the people. And
Yeah.
the risk of that is people saying, "Oh, it's cheesy," and the lyrics are cheesy. And
Uh,
they even say that about Jesus Christ Superstar, about
right.
about Andrew Lloyd Webber and stuff like that. But I like it, you know. I like it when you understand the lyrics. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so easy to say like, I want to make it all very cryptic, and everyone should make up their own mind what it's about,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
90% of the time, it's not about anything. So yeah, for me, it's very important to easily understand what's happening.
Okay, okay. That's interesting you say that because when we look at art as a whole, music being a huge part of that, there's so much that is subjective interpretation, right? We perceive. That goes
Right?
for
Yeah, yeah,
the YouTube world also,
yeah.
reaction videos,
Oh
right?
yeah,
We see
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
person and they're perceiving or analyzing through their lens and the
yeah, yeah.
viewers watching
But
them.
of course, and I like that too. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, you know, I like the
yeah.
cryptic stuff and like
Uh-huh.
making up your own mind, but
Hmm.
not with Ariel, you know. If I'm telling
Yeah.
a story, I want people to get it,
Yeah,
and
of course.
not just English speaking people, but also, you know, people
Everyone.
who come. Right?
I
Yeah.
I feel like with Ayreon, that makes a lot of sense because it is such a vast and beautiful journey. And because there's so many elements from the vocalization and the vocal technique that the singers bring to the various instruments and the story
Oh
they are
yes.
telling to the stage presentation during the lives and the cinematography. I suppose if it was too complex or too cryptic, a lot would get lost for the story, right? Because now it's no
Totally.
longer a story, it's just chaos, right?
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people often say, like, oh, you're such a genius working with all these big stars, you know, but
Yeah.
it it makes my work easy to work with, with
Yeah.
amazing musicians like that,
Yeah.
you know, because they elevate my music and they
Okay.
really bring across the lyrics
Yeah.
and the story. I mean, I always want the singers in my studio. You know, it's very easy to say just just record them in your own studio, send them to me via internet. But it's getting harder lately. But I've always wanted to have them in my studio, standing next to me, so I can
Yeah.
explain like this is happening
Yeah.
in the story, and this is
Yeah.
because I can't get all the singers together at
Yes.
once. You know, that's
Right.
totally impossible.
Of course.
I
I
mean,
s-
for one singer, it takes me months, you know, to make an appointment and to fly him over to my studio or her.
of course. They're also busy. And I
Mm.
suppose having them in person,
Yeah,
there's also an emotional element you can convey that is
totally,
hard
totally.
digitally,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And I want them
Okay.
next to me, and I'm not standing in
Yes.
some booth or something. I
Yes.
want them next to me, and like, what do you think of this? No, let's try this, and let's
Yeah.
do a harmony
Like a
here. And I get my
director.
guitar. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I am basically.
But I would say, or I would encourage, don't discredit or belittle yourself too much, because while these artists and geniuses are adding to your project, if it were not for
Mhm.
your genius, they would not agree to do this, right? I mean, there's these they're very busy and they are geniuses. It says something that they agree and say,
Well,
I want to
I
be
offer
part of
them
this.
I offer them a lot of money. Maybe that's it.
I don't know. I think you're downplaying. You would bring a lot
No,
of
no,
value.
no. It's true. It's a total honor, you know, when I
Yeah.
work with my heroes. I mean,
Yeah. I understand.
heroes that I grew up listening to, you know, like
Yeah.
Bruce Dickinson or whatever, you know. And
Yeah.
as a kid, I was like watching that on TV, and
Yeah.
now I'm working with these people, and it's very surreal, really.
How do you feel, since we're speaking of psychology and how these things impact us, how do you feel like that is, if I may ask, shaped you as a person? How does that added to you or changed you in your life's journey?
Uh, what exactly do you mean? The fact that I'm working with these
Yes,
people?
the music you
Okay,
create, the
okay.
fact that you work with them, and the music you create, your work and the
It, it's
combination.
it it makes me more confident maybe, but it didn't change me as a person because I'm a total recluse. I mean, for
Okay.
the last 30 years, I haven't left my house.
Really?
I haven't had holidays. I have no social life whatsoever. I'm just always at home and always in my studio and always working. So I haven't changed as a person, I think. I think if I, because in the past, in the 70s and in the 80s, I toured a lot, you know, and
Yeah.
you are a different person then, you know, it's a totally different life. It's not my life, I found out, but I'm glad I went through that period, you know. But it's the whole
Yeah.
sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing, and it's cool when you're young,
Yeah.
you know, to you find out things, but
Yeah.
at some point it's
Yeah.
like, no,
I have no more energy,
that's
huh?
totally
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. It's totally not me.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I think if I would be touring and stuff, I would be a different person.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would maybe be more arrogant or be more annoyed by things or whatever. Because I was a difficult person when I was playing in bands and when I was still touring. I was not easy to work with.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people hated me back then, because I knew what
Really?
I wanted and
Ah,
I wanted it my way. So
okay.
at some point, the only way to get it my way is to do everything myself.
Okay. Okay.
So I
Interesting.
always get my way now, and I think that's if I wouldn't get my way, I would be a very nasty person, but I do.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so I guess you found a solution there in just to do things yourself, and as
yeah,
for those who don't know, you would work when you create your projects, even the Ayreon project, you're writing and you're playing all these various instruments and just creating all of it yourself, which makes it all the more
right.
phenomenal. How do you how do you get these ideas in that creative process? I'm sure it varies, but what sparks these stories for you in your psyche, in your
Um,
mind?
Weirdly enough, it's the music. So I don't
Okay.
have the story, and then I have to think of music
Okay.
accompany the story, because that would limit me. I still think the music is the most important thing.
Okay.
So I first come up with the music. And yeah, how do you come up with the music? I mean, all the bands I just mentioned, and also like Pink Floyd and the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, all these bands, they totally inspired me. I think a lot comes from that. I'm just very bad at copying bands, so people don't hear all the stuff that I steal.
Okay.
um, I lost my train of thought there. What was I
You
saying?
you were saying that the music comes before the story and it's
Oh, right, yeah,
inspired
yeah,
by
yeah,
artists and
yeah,
bands.
yeah. So I always start with the music. I just on my phone, I record all these little ideas, and then I have 50 little ideas. I go into the studio, and then I think, what do these ideas, these musical ideas, what do they lead me to story-wise? What is it about? Is it like science
Yeah.
fiction thing or a fantasy thing, or maybe like the album I did, Human Equation, about a person who is in a coma and he is interacting with his feelings. So yeah, the music inspires me to come up with a story.
Yeah.
And then weirdly enough, I first pick the singers and then I write the character on the singer. So it's not like I have a character and I need to find a singer for it, because that would limit me.
Oh,
Like
okay.
for instance, you just did a video of Into Electric Castle. There is a Highlander on there. There's a Scottish person. It wasn't like I want a Highlander on there, so I need a Scottish singer. No,
I
I had a
see.
Scottish singer, Fish, and I
Ah,
wrote the part on him. Which
wow.
makes life easier for me.
Interesting. So that it gives
Yeah,
you more room to create, you say.
that's true. Yeah. Because
Okay.
as I said, I still think the music is more important than the lyrics.
Then okay, okay.
Yeah, I think
And
the lyrics add that extra dimension.
okay, very interesting. So you would say the instrument speaks before the words ever come out.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
instruments speak to me and let me know what the
Beautiful.
story is about. Yes.
That is beautiful.
Uh,
That is fascinating. And in this world of social media and the digital world, I mean, you've experienced so much of that beautiful journey when it comes to musical art. How do you feel that affects music for you, for in general, when it comes to creating and releasing? I mean, you put some of your work on YouTube, you utilize some of
yeah.
those platforms. What do you feel that is done for music or for you as
Oh,
an
I think it's
artist?
great. I think it's
Yeah.
great. Everyone gets a chance now. And
Okay.
I mean, I've been suffering, in the 70s. Record companies weren't interested. You didn't get any money to record. You couldn't do anything. Now you can let the audience decide, and
Yeah.
if it's good, it will get there.
Yeah.
Really, people will find it.
Yeah.
Also, thanks to your videos and other reaction videos. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It totally helps. Also me, I learn a lot from it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so you segued beautifully into that part of that world, which is reaction videos. So you would say they
Yeah.
actually allow more people to find your work because others are
Oh, totally,
sharing it. Okay.
totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think about people commenting? You touched on it in the beginning, but people that are analyzing perhaps positively or negatively on your work. I mean, it's such a, as an artist, right? It's a big part of
Hmm.
us when we create and we put it into the world for it
Hmm.
to be listened to.
Hmm.
And now it's being looked at, analyzed, scrutinized.
Yeah.
How does that affect you as an
I
artist?
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would love it if it would all be negative, of course.
Right, of
But
course.
no, I learned from it, you know.
Yeah,
Also, of course, it depends on the video, you know. I
yeah.
mean, my song, the day the world breaks down, I think it has like 50 reaction videos or something, and I
Awesome.
watched most of them. Thing is, you know, I get so tired of my own song. I can't hear it anymore, you know, and I really want to see all those reaction videos and I want to react to them. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if I ever reacted to one of your videos, but I usually do, you know, I go to
Yeah.
YouTube and I write a little comment
Yes,
and
you
stuff like
commented
that.
on one of them. I was very
Oh,
honored.
cool, cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did. I was like,
Well,
oh
the good
my
one,
goodness.
yeah, no, the good ones I comment and
Yeah,
um, I would want to do it all, but I get so tired, especially
of
that song, you know,
course.
it's 12 minutes long. Oh my God, here
Yeah.
we go again, you know, I know it by heart. And then we played it live in the last shows, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I hate this song. But
Yeah, that's
no, that
understandable.
there are a lot of them that I even learned from, you know, people
Yeah.
saying things that I'm like, whoa, I didn't think of that before.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So
totally.
it's
Yeah.
collaboration almost. How do you feel, just to dive a little deeper into that psychology? I know I'm asking how do you feel so much, right? Sounds like a typical therapist. But
Yeah.
the impact that reaction videos have on people, on their minds. I mean, you as an artist, you expressed you like it, right? You're getting that feedback, you're learning.
Yes.
But for people, what do you think it is from your perspective that people are so intrigued to hear someone react and analyze music or
I,
anything?
to be honest, I have no idea how other people watch it.
Yeah.
Um, Thing is, I get a lot of emails from people and messages from people telling me that these videos are on, you know, are
Yeah.
online. So they tip me basically. There's another one, and you should watch it. So
Yeah.
um, I think people love it. I always see in the comments, you know, that people are promoting my stuff to reactors
Yeah.
yeah, that's the best there is, of course.
Yeah, of course, being shared with, I guess your work being shared
Yeah,
with the
totally.
world. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since since you would I be wrong to say I assume you don't really watch reaction videos other than perhaps those that are reviewing your work? Is that something you've gotten into at all? Or do you ever watch other reactions?
I have my channels that I watch. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And what is it?
I watch
Go
basically
ahead.
every day, maybe. Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, every evening I watch TV series, and then
Yeah.
the last hour I lay on the couch and I watch YouTube
Okay.
every evening.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
And
yeah.
what about it is so intriguing to you? Of course, share as little or as much as you're comfortable with personally, but
Yeah.
what about it is draws you in to watch other people commenting on
The
on
people,
topics?
the reactors themselves, you know, they
Okay.
have to attract me somehow.
Okay.
And maybe they're funny, maybe they're intelligent, maybe they know a lot about it. I
Okay.
mean, I watch Justin Hawkins. I don't know if you
Yeah.
watch his stuff. He's funny, you know. It's just
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
Of course, I watch Rick Beato because he knows a lot about it. You know, he loves musically. He knows way more than me.
Yeah.
Um, the charismatic voice is great. You know, you
Yes.
learn a lot about voices and stuff.
Yes.
And so yeah, these are channels that I watch almost daily to learn
Interesting.
stuff. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so for you it's the education and it is the persona, the person, their personality.
But the person is very important to me. If the person is annoying, I tried to watch something yesterday and it was like, oh, and it's like, oh my God, I can take two
Yeah.
minutes of that, you know. It's just too much.
I
And they
definitely
have to be
understand.
genuine. And you notice
Yeah.
it I
Yeah.
notice it very quickly
Yeah.
if it's genuine or not. And
Yeah.
that's very important for me.
Yeah. What does that do? What do you think that does for people when they notice someone is not genuine? Because we have that. You're very right. We have that in the world where there's more the
Yeah.
educational approach, there's the analytic deep dives, there's those who just say, "Oh my gosh," and then subscribe, right? And I understand. I can relate to your
Yeah,
response to that.
yeah,
It's like, no,
yeah.
no. Um,
Right.
what is it when it comes to, since we're speaking about psychology, people that are inauthentic or a lack of being genuine?
Yeah.
Why does that affect us so? Because I would argue most people probably are put off by it.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
person.
it doesn't make them bad people, of course,
Of course not. No, 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 no.
and their their intentions are good.
Yeah.
Um, but I just, and I don't know if other people notice it, but I have a sixth sense for
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if I don't believe someone, it's over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why does that put you off though? Since I'm just trying to dive deeper into the psychology of it, about the human behavior. For you, perhaps you have, like you said, you're even more fine to it than other people. But
Yeah.
what about the lack of sincerity that makes people not want
Well,
to watch something else?
I won't learn anything from it because I don't
Okay.
believe the person.
Okay.
So I even made an album about it called Lost in the New Reel. We're entering the new reel now where we don't know what's real and what isn't real, and it's
Ooh,
the album is like 10 years old, but it has
more
a lot of these
relevant.
topics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More relevant
yeah.
than ever,
So
it seems to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and uh, yeah,
I think that's a very interesting point that you just shared on. And it's interesting you already had the foresight to talk about that, which I know even 10 years ago it was happening, with social media on the rise
yeah.
and
Right,
everything.
right. Yeah,
But
yeah.
now it seems to have just taken off also in the sense of amount and speed, right? I mean, we went from YouTube being a thing for the last, over 15 years to
Mhm.
now the swiping. I call it the swulture, the swipe culture.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
It's
yeah.
getting faster and faster, and our
It's
attention
it's
span is getting
it's
less.
it's terrible, and I'm guilty as hell.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I hate to be guilty, but I am.
Yeah.
I'm watching YouTube, and with your right eye, you're watching the column. What
Of
else is
course.
there?
Yeah, of
And it's
course.
terrible. I don't want to do that. I want to watch
Yeah.
something and watch it all the way to the end,
Yeah.
because that's also the albums I make. That's I have this story. I have a beginning. I have an ending. I want people to listen to the whole album. Switch off the rest of the world. Listen to the
Right.
whole album from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Um, which of course, as a kid, I had to do because it was vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
know, right?
there was no swiping there.
Yeah. Even with cassettes, it's like it takes forever to get them back. Like for the
Right,
longest
right, yeah.
time, there was a process, and it included having to be patient. But the patience forces us to be more present. Um,
Oh, totally.
Personally, I feel like that has led, or at least added to the increase of mental health issues and anxiety, I would argue, because
Whoa,
the
whoa.
lack of being present is therapeutic, right? They say mindfulness, you ground yourself, you use your senses to be in the here and now. But the more we are, like you said, we're looking to the left, we're already swiping to the
Right,
next.
right,
The more
yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah.
bombarded with options, the harder it is to be in the present because we're already in the future, or we're reminiscing about the past. We're not grounded.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
I think that is not the entire reason, but it contributes to people's anxiety. Um,
I
yeah,
can totally imagine that, yeah.
right.
See,
Yeah.
I learned things from you.
Aha. We're learning things from each other. I think that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the beautiful thing with music, as what I believe to be one of the finest forms of art. But I'm biased to music. Art in general is
Yeah, yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
That there's so many layers to it, right? And you can speak on this better than I can. Various instruments, the way that they're all played, the way they bring different elements
Mhm.
and emotions, right? It's very multi-layered, multifaceted. And
Yeah.
I think it's the same with us people, right? We're not just one trick ponies. We're not just one track.
No,
So I guess this goes the same with when we're learning from each other, or the way that we perceive things. Um,
totally. Yeah.
this is why I find the psychology of reaction so interesting. Watching
Uh-huh.
someone watch something almost seemed silly to me a while back. I didn't understand it.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like, "What?"
No, I had to get used to it as well.
Yeah, me too. And
Yeah.
when I started creating
Yeah.
them myself, it was nice to find my own niche and realize I can't be, another vocal coach, because while I'm a singer and I write songs, I'm not a vocal coach. So I can't speak on the technicality as well.
No,
But my
no, no.
degree being in psychology, I've traveled the world, my passion being music and psychology, I found my niche.
Right.
So there's something to be said
Right.
about finding
Yeah.
your perspective, finding your
Right,
niche.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I could never do that to reaction videos.
Yeah.
I would be way too critical. I
I
mean, I hate
understand.
everything. It's terrible. I really I couldn't do it. I was imagining myself doing that, and
Uh-huh.
maybe, I should do it, but as a musician, you can't be critical of other musicians.
Right.
You
You
can't,
would
you
just
know.
hate everyone. That's
Yeah,
funny.
everyone would hate me, and no one would be working with me anymore.
Everyone just
But
crying, in
yeah,
response,
yeah,
cry
yeah,
emojis in
yeah.
the comment section. I
Right,
hate
right. Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
No,
But of
I
course, for
understand.
you, reactors, it's you can't be too critical either,
Right, right, right.
I guess.
No, yeah,
It
well, it
must.
takes a lot of wisdom, to be honest with you. It takes, um, for the most part, I thankfully review things that I find wonderful. And I have a certain rule about things, like when it comes to the music industry, for example, if I were to react to the mainstream at this point now, or to any top 40 stuff or things that are being
No.
pushed, I would be critical, and I know I would get heat for it, but I would try to come at it more from an educational standpoint or a psychological one, right? For example,
Okay, good,
the over
good.
sexualization in the music industry, right? If I were to speak on that, I would try to push some arguments from a psychological standpoint beyond just I hate this because,
No,
Um,
no, of course,
but
of
people
course.
come for bias confirmation very often. So if they come for their favorite artist, then I say that I don't like this or that, and there will be
Hmm.
definitely a lot of heat. It takes integrated, holistic people to mature
Hmm.
people to be able to take things and go, okay, see what you're saying. I disagree. I understand, but
Right,
that's
right, yeah,
not always the case in social
yeah,
media. The
yeah, yeah, yeah.
comment section is wild. Um, yeah, it's very interesting what you are creating. How do you, just speaking for the future, see your m- ongoing art creations tying in with YouTube and the reaction world? Do you have a vision for where
Um,
you're headed, what you want to do?
I will just continue what I'm doing. Really, I don't have specific plans. Like I would love to make a movie, and I even tried to make a movie with my last Ayreon album.
Yeah.
But it's so expensive. You need millions, and you need producers, and you need people interested in it. I really tried. I got pretty far, but at some point, you have to give up.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna keep doing the live thing because I hadn't played live in 25 years. Actually, I
That's
really
insane.
gave up the whole live thing. And well, you've now reacted to some of our live shows.
Yeah.
It's become a biannual thing now. So every 2 years, we play 5 or 6 shows in Tilburg in Holland. And it was amazing. The last show, 15,000 people from 64 countries, came to Holland.
Wow. That
And
is
I feel,
amazing.
yeah, I feel a bit guilty, of course, for not touring myself and making everyone come to me.
Yeah.
But we make it very special for the fans. We give them a special week, and we have lots of side things going on in the city, um, and they love it, and they come back every 2 years. So I must be doing something right.
Yeah,
But
absolutely you are.
yeah, so yeah, I will just keep on doing the live thing, I guess, for as long as we can.
Yeah.
um, and yeah, I love making videos, video clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like tomorrow, no, Wednesday, yeah, there is a new video clip again of another project of mine. And it's very cool, I'm really looking forward to reading the reactions, and I will, it's
Yeah.
so, I'm not one of those artists who creates music for himself. It sounds weird. I
No?
really create music for the people who want to listen to it. So it's very important for me what fans say. So if the video clip comes out on Wednesday, I will
Yeah.
be at the comments. I will reply to every comment that's there, even if there's 500 comments.
Oh,
I
wow.
will take the time because all again, I learn from it. I learn from what they say. Also, if they're critical.
Hmm.
Um, and if I don't do that, I would just be swiping. I would just be swiping and reading through. But
I
if I
see.
comment on each comment,
Yeah.
I have to think about it. I have to think
Yeah.
what did they say and what would be my reaction to that and what do I think of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna and because I'm not touring, I can do it. I have the time for it.
Yeah.
So
I think that's wonderful. That I feel like that creates a sense of community because there's something
it
about
does.
social media, isn't it? That people can reach out to
Yeah,
their favorite artist, in this case, you,
they
and they
can.
hear you
Yeah.
respond. It's different
Oh
than back
yeah.
in the day
Yeah.
where very few made
Totally.
it backstage, right?
Totally, yeah, yeah. No, anyone can email me, and everyone will get an answer. You won't
That's so
find anyone who
wonderful.
was like, I never got an answer.
That's very special.
It
That's
takes a
very special.
while, but
Yeah.
but
That's
yeah,
wonderful.
that's very important to me, and I think that's the reason why 15,000 people come over. Maybe I emailed with each and every
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should ask that next time I do my speech live.
I know,
Who
right?
have I never been in contact with?
Yeah.
No,
I know. Raise
no
your hand
hands
if you've
go
not
up.
gotten.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that you are approaching even the reaction world from that angle. I keep hearing you say
Yeah,
learning. You learn from the
yeah,
comments, you learn from reactions. I hear you
yeah,
say the personality. I hear you say you want to connect with people, right? At the concerts and the comment section.
very much.
So,
Yeah.
and I think
Again, for my solo album, it's a song called "The Social Recluse." That's how I see myself. I'm a total recluse, but very social.
that's a beautiful what would the best word be? A paradox or a beautiful
It's a
contrast.
paradox. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's that's
totally. Yeah,
beautiful. And
yeah.
I think it's wonderful for others to see that that's very much also possible, because you have people, introverts, extroverts, different personality types, but you're still able to thrive having gotten to know yourself and be who you are and still
Yes.
connect. I think by doing so, since we are speaking of the psychology of those reactions, you are touching on a core human need, wouldn't you say? The need for connection, the need for being seen and valued.
Oh,
You
yes.
commenting makes people feel a certain way, right? Your
Uh,
music.
and that makes me feel good.
Yes, it's a give and
Really.
take. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If I write a comment and someone comments on that, like, oh, so you reacted, that makes me feel good, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
alive, to feel
Yeah.
good. And like, if I get these emails from fans saying that I changed their lives, or they were like really depressed, or they even wanted to end it all, and my music saved them. I mean, that's what I do it for, really.
Yeah.
It's that's so special. So
I'm glad you said that because
I
that was
and
going to be one of my last questions is what is your wish for your listeners to take from you? But it sounds like that's exactly what you're touching on,
that's
right? The
that's exactly that's
affecting
exactly
people.
it. Affecting people the way I was affected by Jesus Christ Superstar when I was 11, and by all these bands that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
I know how important it was for me back then. It was my world
Yeah.
totally. And if I can do that for other people now, uh, yeah, that's been my life's dream always. So
Well, it sounds like you're living your dream, and I think that is
I
a
am,
beautiful way to have meaning in life and
I
to
am,
make value of
yeah,
our
yeah,
existence, isn't it?
yeah. Of course, when you don't have inspiration, or when that's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's and you go through these I call them black holes. I have a song called Black Hole. Um, and it's terrible, but I know by now that I always get out of the black hole.
Mm.
So all positive. Yeah.
I like that. I like the fact that you not only are aware of those seasons, but you're aware that it will end, but also that you gave it a
Yeah.
name. I recently read something in a psychotherapeutic novel I'm reading right now, where it spoke of how interesting it is that when we name things, even though the pain or the situation might not
Okay.
be alleviated, it already makes people feel better. Interestingly enough, right? I mean, we may still be feeling sick, but the doctor says what it is, and there's a sense of relief, right?
I
We
know. I
we
know.
may
Yeah,
be
I noticed
stuck in
that.
the same situation, but even just giving something
Yeah.
a name
Yeah.
gives some type of, because I think there's a sense of control now, a sense of, okay, I know what this is. I'm having that writers might
Good
call it
one.
writer's block. For you, it's the black hole, but you
The black
created
hole,
something from this
totally.
place. You created something from that black hole. I mean, and therefore it's no longer this vacuum, right? There's something that came
No,
to
it
life.
isn't.
So it's
Oh, totally.
beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Good.
I'm so grateful for you, Ayan. I don't want to keep you too long. Is there anything you would like to share to your audience, your fans, or reactors out there? Any last words or anything you want to share other than
Just keep up the good work, and I'm really curious too. Like I said, I want to see every reaction video I
yeah.
can, but I can't, I just don't have the time. Um, but please keep up the good work. That's
Thank you. That's
totally,
wonderful. That's wonderful
yeah.
encouragement. Thank you so much for your time today, Ayan. Everyone, make sure to go check out his YouTube channel and subscribe to Arjen Lucassen. Listen to his Ayreon projects, amazing masterpieces, a feast for your ears and your eyes. Don't miss it.
Well,
And
thank you very
Ayan, thank
much.
you. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm honored. Often tell people time is our most
Yeah.
precious commodity, and you shared a piece of yours with me. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Really, my pleasure.
Thank you so much.